Yeah, let's just see. Alright, coming at you live from the Twitch channel this time round. The last time I did this it went terribly. Let's see if it goes any better here. We are on to our 28th set of the Pokemon TCG Holon Phantoms, and there's a few things in here that are kind of cool, but I mean, I have so many decks already that I don't know what I would even want out of this. There's definitely some interesting stuff, but you've got to filter out of it, I guess. Like, there's Armado could be kind of cool, Flygon is definitely decent as acceleration, Pidgeot, Raichu could be neat. I mean, Pidgeot more for lockdown stuff, but Raichu's just a really fun deck. Don't get too many playable Raichus, so I definitely wouldn't mind that. Biggest things in here, I think, in terms of consistency and making the decks from last round better would be Holon Adventurer for sure, but you already get two of those in the Fiend decks over here, so that's kind of whatever. Holon Lake is definitely a good one for your Delta species decks, of which obviously there's a lot more in here because it's Holon Phantoms, so that would be kind of neat. And then I kind of like the idea of Mew-EX. Just because being able to see what's in the opponent's hand is real good for certain strategies, so not too bad there. We are replacing the energy that are here. These are all in the reverse holo slot. We probably will just use these in whichever deck that we play this week, just like I did with the Emerald stuff, but you know, whatever. And then the last bit that we want to look at is the promos, because we're moving Pop Series 3? No, this is Series 4, right? We are moving Pop Series 4 ahead, around, if you will. Apparently these were not live for the World Championship, but they have a Scramble energy in there, and that's a good enough excuse as any to actually bring it forward, because Scramble energy has been the fawn of almost every single player's side here, that we just haven't had enough access to it. So, yeah, we want more of that. One byproduct of this is that the Sceptile is in play again now. Energy Trans is a thing. I like this artwork a lot, by the way, way better than the original one. But it's not super strong, I don't think, so we'll probably be okay there. And the Flygon is very cool, but doesn't have the same energy requirements as the other Flygon that we have. Also, shoutouts to Speed Deoxys being here as well, I guess. We've done enough delaying on this. We'll talk about the cards as we get them, if we get them. But honestly, I don't know, there's not a lot in here that I particularly want, because it's all like self-contained archetypes, so we'll just see. If we can pull enough of them, we'll go for it. So straight away, there's a couple of good cards in here. Holon Lake is an interesting new stadium, competes a little bit with Holon Ruins, but if you have Delta Species Pokemon in play, those Delta Species cards get a search effect, where they can search your deck for a Delta Pokemon and put it into the hand. So that can be an evolution, it can be a basic, because a lot more of the Delta species pre-evolved forms are also different types now. So like this Trapinch over here is grass type, whereas before this would have been a fighting type and only the Flygon would have been grass type, so interesting there. We do also have an Aerodactyl. This has cropped up in a few lists at times. Probably Strange Cave would be what you'd play with this one. Once during your turn before you attack, search your deck for a basic energy, put it into the hand. Pretty strong effect, to be honest. We do sort of see similar things come up from time to time, but this one's definitely pretty good. Otherwise, nothing too special in here. This Rayquaza is the wrong one. If Outrage didn't require a coin flip, it may be slightly busted, but it would have actually been playable. But it does not, so whatever. Moving on here. Here's the other reason why I don't do these live on stream most of the time, by the way, because we've just finished playing the games from the stuff there, so it takes longer for me to load the packs up. If I restart the stuff, it would have been better. Here's the Flygon. This Flygon is an interesting energy acceleration tool here. Once during your turn before you attack, you may attach a basic energy or a Delta Rainbow energy from your hand to one of your Delta Pokemon. This works, obviously, with the Aerodactyl that we just saw here. You could use it to accelerate energy in its own thing, but Delta Rainbow is specific to, like, maybe this set and one other, and it's you can imagine, it's a Rainbow energy that only works on Delta species Pokemon, so being able to attach those is quite nice as well. Swift is very underpowered, so you mostly use it for the ability here, but that ability is really strong, so this is a good one to keep around. More energy acceleration is always good, right? Moving on, not a ton to really speak about here. Magikarp is metal. That's kind of cool. I don't know. Just seems really strange, but it's pretty fun. We have a Sharpedo over here that guarantees that it's going to do 50 damage minimum, right? Because if the opponent's got fighting resistance, it nullifies the resistance. Brush Aside is also kind of okay if you can put like a Holon energy on this thing, but it's just a little bit underpowered, I think. Zero Retreat is kind of nice though, and you know, fighting is always a good type to have if nothing else. Here, there's a couple of cards that are worth noting. I kind of like this Persian. I don't think it's good enough, but I do kind of like the idea of it. Scratch and Draw does synergize well with the Darkness energy here. It's like 40 for 2, draw 3 cards if you've got a Stadium and play with Holon, which you will have with this thing. It's Dark Metal just like the Mighty Enna was, so you do get the opportunity to use both types of energy. Deceive is also kind of nice, but it does give the opponent the choice, so not like the best attack ever. Scratch and Draw is kind of nice though. Rayquaza, this one is sort of like the previous one, except now it searches the energy out of the deck with its first attack, and its second attack does 10 less damage, but doesn't require you to have Holon energy in play on the Rayquaza in order to actually survive, which is good. Also, being in water means you get different benefits from it as well. If it has any Holon energy, then you just don't have weakness on stuff. Maybe use this with Blastoise? Potential? If we get enough of it, maybe we'll try that. I don't know. It's decent damage at the very least, so there is that. Second Flygon immediately is very interesting here. We may well have to try something with that. This Primate, there's a couple of them in one of the theme decks, but I don't know if we're going into that theme deck at the moment. Wreck is kind of fun. If your deck is able to fuel this thing and is vulnerable to Battle Frontier, this may be a good way of outing it. 60 for 2 if there's a Stadium in play and force discard that Stadium. Flames of Rage is an attack we actually saw on the promo Arcanine way back in the first generation. It takes 1 less colored energy this time round. It's 1 fire, 2 colorless, but I think it's basically just about the same otherwise. You don't have to discard 2 energy cards, I suppose there is that. Omastar is a Psychic type, which is weird as hell, but whatever. It has a very similar attack to Marowak, in the fact that it does extra damage for each of the Omanite, Omastar, Kabuto, Kabutops, and Kabutops EX for those playing in RS on, that you have in your discard pile, up to 90 total damage, which is neat, but that requires you to probably play Kabutops as well. Doesn't seem too good, to be honest. Fun concept though. Speaking on the Kabutops, here it is. We kind of like this Kabutops, but it's not even that hard to get into play at this point, because Strange Cave lets you just put a Kabuto down from the previous set, so that's not too bad. Thunderous Blow is pretty strong if you can attach a lot of lightning energy specifically. 70 for 3 is the sort of numbers we would want. Vital Drain is also kind of nice if you just miss a KO beforehand. Being able to basically fully heal Kabutops is pretty strong, so not too bad. We do have Holon Fossil here as well. If you flip heads, you search your deck for a fossil like stage 1 and bench it. If you flip tails, you search your hand, pretty much. It's not even searching, you just put one from the hand down instead. So that's kind of neat. It gets treated as a basic Pokemon, so you can rare candy with it as well. The Latios here isn't very good. I mostly just want to bring it up because even though it's not the good one, the Latios and Latias here will enable the ones from Delta species. So even if it's the bad one, we want the Latias from the set in order to allow other ones to do stuff. Unfortunately, even when we click Replace Energy, Rare Metal and stuff still comes in. There is like nothing really to talk about here. The Psyduck has got Disable, which is very funny. Golduck is actually kind of decent as well if we can pull that, so we'll be keeping our eyes out. 2 in a row! That's not bad. That's not good in the slightest. Chime Echo is kind of interesting for the Holon engine. If you have a supporter card with Holon in its name in play, you can get an energy from your discard pile. Like, it has to be a basic or a Delta Rainbow, but you just get the energy back. So if you're discarding energy a lot for your Holon mentors and stuff like that, this Chimecho can let you recover that quite easily. So pretty reasonable with Adventurer in this set as well. Second Lake is good. There is one in both Beam decks, so we can deal with that. Blaziken is terrible, but it's here, I guess. Blaze Kick is like objectively weaker than the Blaze Kick from the EX, which I understand, but like that's the main attack here, so come on, it could have done so much better. Didn't mention the Claydol either. It's very whatever, but it's another one of these that has 10 to each of the opponent's Pokemon attack. This time it's for a colorless though, so progress I suppose. Moving on, what else can we get? Oh, the Raichu, perfect. Okay, so Raichu is pretty much what you get if you put metal paint on Pichu from the very first set that Pichu was in, from Neo Genesis. One colorless, 20 damage to each Pokemon that has a power or body in play. Metallic Thunder is also actually really good here. Discard 2 metals on the Raichu if you want, and do 90 instead of 50 damage. So it's like Lantern, except it also has a really good first attack as well. Punishes a lot of boards, to be honest. Also Zero Retreat, so good stuff there. Golduck is definitely worth noting, because if you have a Holon Stadium in play, or if any Holon Stadium is in play, the opponent cannot play Stadium cards. So this can be a way of stopping the opponent from being able to bump your Holon Lake or your Ruins if you so choose. Mind Play is interesting. Like, I don't really think this attack is actually good, but if you play with the Mew EX, then maybe you could do some fun stuff with this if you see their hand is like, oops, all item cards. It probably won't be though, so it's not that strong, but it's still pretty funny, nothing else. The Stadium block, like shutdown power is kind of nice though. Here's a couple of good cards. Holon Castform is very important to pick up here. It not only is it a double rainbow, just like the Electrode and the Magneton were, but in a Holon deck specifically, you don't actually mind starting with this card. It's it lets you draw for every Pokemon you have in play with Delta on its card. So if you are playing one of these newer Delta decks that has their basics and everything as you know, metal cards as well, or you know, Delta species like the Pichu over here, then you just get to draw a lot. The more you put on the bench with Mentor, the more this card draws. So excellent consistency, as well as being able to actually act as a double rainbow too. Double duty. Sableye is terrible. Don't know why this is a rare, to be honest. Knockoff does no damage, so whatever. Vileplume. It has the same power as Vileplume from Expedition did, where if you flip heads you poison the opponent. Poltergeist is interesting. I have a feeling this was supposed to synergize with Vileplume EX that nobody actually got. I forget. I'm pretty sure that was in Hidden Legends, right? So it would have actually had one format for it here. But yeah, look at the opponent's hand, do 30 plus 10 for each trainer that's in that hand. Kind of okay with Blossom, I think, but I'm getting confirmed. Yeah, it was correct for the stuff there. Alright, didn't actually rip that pack open, so let's go. That's the third Blaziken in like 12 packs. Rip. Okay, nothing really to note in there, so let's just move right along here. Second Kabutops is interesting. Rare Candy gets a reprint in here as well. New artwork, so we'll probably play this one actually because it looks kind of cool. Yeah, second Kabutops is a thing. This Nosepass's Rock Slide is somewhat decent, but I feel like Wide Laser is probably just better on that front. So you mostly play it because like Supersonic is a thing too. Here is our first Executor, which goes with the Raichu. Delta Circle is the reason here. 10 damage plus 10 more for each Delta species Pokemon you have in play. It is Do the Wave, but for specifically Delta decks. The thing is, now the Delta species basics are also becoming the type, like they're also Delta species, so you don't have to play the Psychic Execute for this. So you just fill your board with Delta dudes and you're doing 60 for 2. which is really good. Split Bomb is also fine. It's mostly because of the typing though. Fighting type is just really powerful in general, so only needing 2 energy to do that is crazy good. Here's a couple of neat cards. Deoxys has got some very interesting forms in this one. Each of the forms has got a different type, and their attacks are somewhat decent this time round. Unfortunately, you can still only play 4 Deoxys total, so I don't know if this is actually going to be good per se, but I'd be more inclined to form change them this time, I'll just say that right now. Teleportation Burst is a straight 20, switch Deoxys with one of your bench. You do have to switch, but honestly that's okay. It's not terrible, so I don't know, maybe we'd play it. Blossom over here, the reason I'm interested in this is because I did pull 2 Unseen Forces Blossom, and for this format exactly, we have access to the Hidden Legends one to heal as well. This Blossom can use the attack of all of the other Oddish family that you have in play, including Vileplume EX that we don't have. Its own attack is also somewhat decent, like 40 for 2 and prevent weakness next turn is good against the right type of deck. But it's funny, right, because it's a water type that's weak to fire, so that's kind of amusing. I don't know. Still, it could be good, because this one gives you another type that you can hit in the Blossom deck that does 100 for free if you have free Blossom in play. Here is Kingdra. Kingdra's Dragon Curse is good against the Delta stuff here. If it's your active Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on one of the opponent's Delta species cards, so that's kind of fun. Extra Flame does 60 for 2 if they're an EX, which, yeah, fair enough. Heat Blast is just a straight 80 for 4. So really, I think for me, this might end up competing a little bit with something like the Salamence, potentially. It does have a completely different weakness, but it can do some pretty good damage in its own right. There's a Credillia over here as well, but I think this Credillia is even worse than the previous one, and I didn't like the previous one, so whatever. 20, and if the opponent doesn't evolve or like switch out or something, 5 damage counters on them at the end of the turn, whoop-de-freaking-do, nobody cares. Poison Tentacles just doesn't do enough, like it's 60 for free effectively. Yes, this is Dark and Metal at the same time, that doesn't matter, it's terrible. Holon Adventurer, I think we mentioned already, but just in case we didn't, it's a Holon supporter, so Transceiver works really well with this. You discard a card in your hand to play it, just like with all the other Holon supporters, and you draw 3 cards. Draw 4 if you discard a Delta species Pokemon. So it's like Rocket's Mission, but in an engine that can search for it, which is really good. So this actually makes the Holon engine a lot better, because now we can search for a draw card as well. Moving on here. Nothing really to speak about here. Cosmos Discovery gets a reprint. Whoop-de-frickin-do, nobody cares. It's just not a good card. Here is a couple of neat stuff. Mr. Stone's Project gets a reprint in here. I did have 2 of them already, but it is nice just to have more of them around. Delta Rainbow, as I mentioned before, if it's on a Delta species Pokemon, you provide all energy types. One thing that's cool about this card, actually, is that it doesn't restrict you to only attaching it to Delta species Pokemon. So you can attach this to, say, Psychic type Ralts or something, and then when it evolves into the Gardevoir, it has the Metal type attached to it as well. So that's kind of cool. This Deoxys is the most powerful one that we see in the non-EX form. 60 for free energy, but one of them's a dark, so arguably 70 for free here. Return 2 energy attached to it to the hand. A little bit difficult to keep powering up, but it is very strong, so it's a good finisher for the deck, to say the least, so I kind of like it. It being in dark, though, means it doesn't really hit anything for weakness, which is a shame, but I still think it's good enough, so who knows. Here's the second Delta Rainbow. Tartness Energy in the reverse slot is very funny. Regice, all of the Reggies in this set aren't very good, we'll just get that out of the way, but they do have the ability to negate special conditions, which is kind of fun. I don't know, like, it's just not strong enough, I don't think, but as a basic, you can at least justify it. 40 plus a flip for sleep is not very good though, so meh, I don't know. Moving on, this is the 3rd Raichu. Garbage. Nothing in this pack is worth talking about, so we're just gonna ignore that one. Okay, we have the bad Latias at least. The other Latias and Latios have an ability that prevents the opponent from using Pokebodies on evolutions if you have the other Lati in play. So ideally we want that one, but at the very least I can enable my Latios at this point to attack for cheaper, so there is that. Second Executor is decent, but we would need a lot more Raichu to make that deck work, which is unlikely. Here are two interesting cards. Mewtwo is not very good, but it is a pain in the butt. It maybe could be playable with Swoop Teleporter, I don't know. Psychic Erase is just disable. Choose one of the opponent's attacks and they can't use it next turn. Can be very good in the right circumstance for sure. Swift is garbage, so we don't play it for that. But again, in a Swoop deck, maybe this could be a lead matchup or something. I don't know. Seems bad. Armaldo is kind of interesting. Only Leo has the EX, so I don't know if it's that good. But Delta Edge is 70 for 2. Yes, if you have a supporter card in play, it's only 20. So you do need to play this on turns where you don't actually need a supporter, and that probably makes it too hard to play. But it's 70 for 2. It's like, dude, it's very, very efficient, if nothing else. If we had the other Armaldo available as well, maybe I'd consider it, but I'm not sure. If you discard a fossil for its fossil charge attack though, it's like 50 snipe 30 is also quite respectable. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one. Probably not quite enough here, but we'll see. Here's another Super Garbo, rare in Zangoose. If you flip 3 heads, it does 50 damage for 2. Whoop-de freaking 2, nobody cares. Moving on. A third Kabutops. Am I actually gonna have to... No, I might try and trade this, I don't know. But hey, 3 Kabutops is at least interesting. You could build something with it. Another Aerodactyl is pretty good, so... yeah. Respectable. 1/3 of the box left to go. Nada. Okay, what I find kind of curious is that Gloom is a Psychic type in the Delta species, but the Oddish is Water. It's like Blossom is Water, and the Vileplume is Psychic. But there's no Psychic Oddish, so it's very strange. And there's no Water Gloom either. Just little weird trivia points of it. Here is the third Deoxys. Also Dark Metal's in this set. I needed 1. I have 1, so yay. Here's the third one. This is a Metal type, and it's for 2 energy. It does 30 and reduces damage by 30 next turn too. This might actually be the best overall one, because yeah, its damage is not amazing, but it's respectable. You know, for 2 energy on a basic, and it's got a lot of HP. So being able to form change this is quite nice. You could then also potentially go ahead and use the... There's nothing stopping you using non-Delta species Deoxys, so you could use Dio Attack from the previous set of Deoxys, whatnot. So, could still be good. Here's Regirock. Rock Slide is kind of good, actually. Maybe I'm underestimating this one. 40 for 3, but also does 10 to 2 of the opponent's bench. This is 60 for 3 on a non-evolving, like basic Pokemon. It's hard to charge up, perhaps, but that's kind of good. I don't know. Could probably use that sort of attack in a fair few decks. Might just not be strong enough nowadays, though, but it is Fighting type, which is a good type to be, so who knows. Is Wobbuffet any good? It's got a Call for Friends. Other than that, not really. Okay, moving on. Don't really need to say anything else of it there. Here's Reggie Steele, so we've got the whole playset now. Woo! It's Hyper Beam. It's on a coin toss. It takes 3 energy, 2 of which are special for the metal. Bleh. That said, it's a metal type, so 2 metal energy on this makes it very hard to kill. Yay! Still not strong enough. Second Dio Attack, I suppose, is a thing, but I don't think we're playing that many of that one. Another bad Latios here, but I don't have Latias to enable, so kind of whatever. Nothing really in that one to speak about here. Here's Mawile. Oh wow, a third Flygon. Wait, that is a third Flygon, isn't it? That's kind of cool. Mawile doesn't really do a lot, unfortunately. There is actually hope for Mawile stands, though, because I think the next Mawile is actually playable. So don't lose too much faith. It does get like one good card in the history of the game. Another Mewtwo, that's another Holon Castform. I don't think I had too many of those yet, so definitely good to see that. Otherwise, not a lot in here, so let's just keep going. Ah, there we go, perfect. So that's at least 3 now, which is good. Lots of Blossom. You don't obviously want to play very many of this one, because then you're limiting how many attacks that you have available. So, nah, I suppose. Here's our camera up that has Magnitude, if you ever need damage counter shenanigans again. It's too colorless though, so it's pretty bad, but still. You know, putting damage counters on yourself and the opponent is still kind of neat. There's another Holon Star, another Executor, but again, we've only had one Raichu, and there's only a couple of packs left here, so Raieggs is not happening, which is whatever. Maybe the Executor is still playable in something, but I'm not really seeing it right now. I don't know. There's probably something you can do with it, it's just like, is it worth it? Yeah, there's the Multi-Energy, the Armado, nothing too fancy there. Last pack that we have. Is there anything worthwhile? Answer is no. Or is it? Dun dun dun! We have Mewtwo Star. Okay, I was really hoping to see something good in the last one. We didn't pull any EXs, but what we did pull is this beauty. So, I think, low-key, this card has 2 good decks that I could play with this card in it. This is technically not as good as Latias Star. I will just get that out of the way now. However, I wish I could put that Simo clip in just now. However, this attack does damage to 100 damage to any evolution card. Latias only does it to EXs, Latios only does it to stage 2s. Most of the EXs we're going up against are evolutions. So this card will do 100 to basically all of the EXs anyway, which isn't as good. I will just put that out there now, but a lot of the EXs we would have trouble with do have like 100, 110 HP anyway. I have 2 homes that I could see for this deck, but I think with its attack cost, I think realistically there's only one that I can play it in. This is the star that I would play in Metagross, because the Metagross can accelerate Psychic from the discard, and then you use the Holon guys to go in with it too. Psychic is a pretty okay weakness to hit indeed, so that is something. Yeah, so this is the first time I haven't had an EX out of any of these boxes, but we got the next best thing, which is the best star out of this set. Probably one of the best stars that we've had so far, actually. It's not the best one, like Rayquaza Star exists, and Latias is probably better, but yeah, this is definitely good. How many Castle did we get? We will find out in a sec, because I know there's at least 3. But this is a 1 in 36 EX. Oh, was it? Dang, okay. I actually did not realize this was a 1 in 36 pack for EXs as well. Because every one of the packs I've done for like testing this set before has had like 3 in there, so I didn't even realize it was that sort of odds. Yeah, the Cordon would have been good because I have Meganium. I have like 2 of it anyway, so... Okay, so let's go over what we did get. Yeah, 1 Raichu, very sad mouse noises right now. Only 1 Golduck, so I guess we're not doing that either. 3 Executor, kind of whatever. 1 Vileplume is fine because I'd only play 1 anyway if I'm playing this Blossom stuff. 1 Kingdra, so we can't really play that. 3 Carpetops is interesting. We may have to try something with this. Fossil Box could be a thing, right? As being said. Aerodactyl, 2 of those, you probably only play 2 anyway. Mewtwo Star is really nice. Moving on down, we have lots of Sharpedo, but that's not really very good. Look at all this Flygon stuff down here. 4 Trapinch, 4 Vibrava, 3 Flygon. That is pretty sick, to be honest. If there's anything that I'm going to build with this round, then it would be this, right? 3 Castform. Okay. Obviously you want 4, but this is still good enough, I think. I have 5 Holon guys in Electrode and Magneton, so I'm okay with that. I'm more than happy enough with just playing that. 2 Armaldo, we could trade into it probably, but I don't think that's happening somehow. None of the good Latios, which is a shame. Only 1 Rayquaza of the good one. I probably would have maybe tried that with Blastoise. A couple of Deoxys. Which one did we not get? We didn't get the colorless one, right? So like the normal form. The colorless one is really good too. It's like it does damage and then bonus damage to your Deoxys attacks the next turn. But I think it also comes out as a promo at some point. So yeah, we'll be okay with that one. Yeah, it's like 20 for 2, but it does your Deoxys attacks do 40 next turn. So that's really good. Yeah, it's in like... Oh, it's in this one. I didn't even know it was in this one. I thought it was in like the one after this or something. Okay, never mind. We're fine then. We got all of them. Good stuff. See, this is maybe one advantage of doing it live, right? As far as the trainers go, 2 Adventurer with 2 in the deck is really good. 2 Lake with 1 in the deck is fine. The 1 Dark Metal that I needed, 4 Rare Energy. 2 Delta Rainbow isn't amazing. I don't remember if this comes out in any other set before the end of this era. I don't know if I'm that fussed about it either though, because I mean, the one thing that would be cool is because I am in Flygon, that would have been really nice to have had more of to use, but is it that big of a deal? Debatably not. Okay, this certainly didn't have the archetypes that I wanted out of this one, because I think if I wanted to play anything in here, it would have been Ryex and Kingdra Pidgeot. And I got like no Pidgeot and 1 Kingdra. And like 1 Raichu, 3 Executor. I don't think we've really seen a lot of Raichu yet, so I don't think I'm going to get to play exactly what I wanted out of this one. But you know what? I have so many decks already and I've been lamenting a little bit on that. I think we are fine. So yeah, I also don't know how many weeks we're spending on it here. We might well spend the 2 because it would give a bit of a recharge point. So maybe that's what we'll be doing. But regardless, there's some potentially interesting things to try out of this. So let's go ahead and see what we can do, I suppose. Oh, what deck am I taking out of this? I don't even know. I got the Blossom, so I probably don't need this one. It doesn't have Omastars, so there's nothing in it that way. I don't think either of them actually have anything I want. Maybe we take this one just because I got like 5,000 Blaziken already. So we just take it because of the extra Latios and the 2 Primeape or something. But yeah, I don't think I'm playing the Latios anymore anyway, so don't think it matters. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hopefully this has been interesting, and let's see what we can build.